Yeah, Ghana for yeah better chill bibia na yeah me mamu. I had the anopa intina like say good morning na Ghana the we are intina na yeah mama ha good afternoon to everybody. You're welcome to the program. You're welcome to the channel. That is channel 22. Na and said that na umani abowrum near twa life back kakra. Na yeah that sorry ya assembly at that platform so me say yanka enye ye yanka enye ye yamfa ya no antom bi expose amanfo a enye ye se obi anim enim kwan se meka efa Ghana ye economic situation a ye wom wiase nyina covid-19 ban wiase bebia obi ahoden obi ahofa no na ye beba ha no na ye president ye na Nado Danko Akufo-Addo odi kan ka kire Ghana for se yinimu se ade a meyi ade aho kire beba the economic turmoil ebeba ye ho ba kire ba ye nimu kwan a ye befa so ebe den ye bi ye ho afrim economically ba so bi wu a ana obi hwere ne nkwa aye me na Nado Akufo-Addo ana nipa bi wu wiase bi ana we don't know how to bring the person back to life into o maye te ase se insu amede mamu light amodam free aduane a mechi covid-19 ne ma miye amanfo modum go hotel nyina no minimum kwan a mefa so asan the economy number back because kaya me send Ghana for hu agem nkwan economy no ebe crash na manhwa save nipa na se nipa wu a minim sa tumi no ewuwu so se me de nipa beden ebe san back anoka kire ane eti ase meaning say de na oye ni nyina na onum de ebesie ampa de okan ne so abam Ghana ukobe bia ahụ kire wo se de wiase be bia okwa ahụ kire wo the same thing everywhere na ehihye ba ko a president Akufo-Addo na bandi agumu se eka a odede ne ho no asoman no ye be den ye be try say den ye be twentwe ye kaso kakra se de be ya ye benya sika free IMF na ye dey support your economy no NDC for sorry ya kum omatikwa pai anenye ana munyina munim de omo kafa ho enu kwa se mesan akeka biem atwetwema so na no pa yeda sorry ya channel yen kote nani a ene de John Mahama san ko gina apaso John Mahama
strongest
found gina apaso e wa bruchimem oni animidifo eni etitiriu eni wiase edin komo about Ghana economy na sa de bia oye na the rhetorics na keka niema history na Ghana yesi o mo na obi o keka ne nsem nyina wie egu Ghana ni mu ase ana mo busa na se ojo na wankasa no wankasa ugina hoyi senye president na ulusu ye ana president na wonya intikasa emri anka den na obeye ka debt restructuring aban eye no obe ofa so ana oni hwi kanti no o se debt restructuring ne de enye se me oppose you na so am say enye NDC for ya na mugu platform so insight Ghana for Ghana for catch Ghana for say abanye wicked abanye nye MPP abanye na Nado you didn't we say ukudwa bochime mu dia na wo ka no kre we the first time the last time be okwa brochi the same thing na Mahama koye okoka no kre wa brochiri obape na obedi ntro a Ghana for omu Ghana for honestly onye leader omu Ghana for oni boss oni vision oni aim oni bibia dey dey so person di president no obeye the opeso oye the opeso oye ne the oye ne the oba oye bi mamu amu huye because this is the critical moment as an opposition party aka akonya na beda ma mo say mo befa owuo ho mo befa bro nya ho awakoko enti mo de moving se mo ntimi nya kwa anka monka eno kran so wo mo ntimi o Or the Ghana for, I will not bore you too much. Young corner, young kuti questioner, your friend is a ubi ebisa no. Ebra your man akwenya se o mampeni no. O kasa wiye no. Yama amafon so busa question. Now the first and foremost question, I had a Ghana journalist muntie. Ghana journalist, they be a mugumu woni mu ase, by a car. Omofin so mwani organ. Hwe, in every economic situation biano, opposition party betena or in every case biano. So opposition party betena woni mu. The first and topmost question I saw jotting it down and it said your alternative. What will you have done differently? What would you have done differently? At the end, I can't be any strong. Ah, the autism ye. Because I don't hear so to about. I don't hear so as a samba. So what I say, I don't hear so at the twaba. And the obetna when you be criticize and who besides now who solution at the end because the autism they will nim ana or so often say no nya. You tell us what you're going to do differently. Ghana for what my entire na yenti de Mahama Ebeka. I hope with audio no audible ma obia atibi. Let me try this. I think say me waha. So as obia so ati. And let me see if be audible am obia. Oh, the thing is on mute. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Be audible Mahama obia tibi. Apart na ebusa question no. Sa obruni no obusa question we no. Waba Ghana da or no your high commissioner. Let's take it back. Let's take it back and let me see.
I'm sure you want to look your best. I think I need to go to someone I do know who is a friend of
Ghana for Muntie question na papa ne busa no. Three questions and about at the same time. 3 questions. Live, the owo now no omo your program no busai. And 2 other people, SNA online, the same question at the same time. And that was the first question after Mahama Kasavina.
Ghana, and his hand is just there. He's got a scarf on. It's not a Ghanaian scarf, but it is nevertheless a Ghana, you know. And please do introduce yourself.
Thank you. Nick Westcott, former High Commissioner to Ghana, now Director of the Royal African Society. Your Excellency, I'm sorry I didn't bring the Ghanaian scarf. I should have brought my smock. But thank you very much for that very stimulating talk. As you say, investors are hesitating at the moment to come to Ghana. The economic situation is difficult. And I noticed you were critical of the proposals to restructure domestic debt. But nevertheless, it's a real problem. And investors will be looking at what your solution is to this domestic debt. In fact, and the international, you mentioned some solutions to the international, but the domestic debt is particularly difficult. And do you think that the proposal for a Ghana compact to re-establish the sort of some economic consensus around the way forward is going to be part of that solution? Thank you very much.
Ghana for asema papa yibu say simple. I say, matese ono wamenyoku muye against onu wamenyoku muye against the debt restructuring and then the bondholders we na de no yeah na wona ugina hono unu say investors say omeden ombeba Ghana adiom sika beshe money because of economic situation na yiwomo which obi enim we are not going to run away from it enti wona ugina ho sisi awe John Mahama no wo solution pa anything whether we are senti papa ni bi
to come to Ghana. The economic situation is difficult. And I noticed you go.
I'll say the economic situation Ghana no difficult.
You were critical of the proposals to restructure domestic debt.
And all I say, John Mahama ujina hui. Now you're very critical about the debt restructuring at Ghana for Eden. Abain eye said ubinya akonya enye sika every amanono.
But nevertheless, it's a real problem, and investors will be looking at what your solution is.
I see a real problem. Investors, John Mahama, our pride as an alternative to be the president. All solution, our any day as against the debt restructuring. John Mahama no woman yuku. Solution any day
To this domestic debt, in fact, and the international. You mentioned some solutions, the international, but the domestic debt is particularly difficult. And do you think that the proposal for a Ghana compact to re-establish the sort of some economic consensus around the way forward is going to be part of that solution? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I've got two fairly similar questions online. I'm going to do those. We're going to have plenty of time.
So, we pe and a host in say, me wo question abusa ye me wo similar one, any nyina ye pe, SSA a pe. The same question. At the mount, it's my member boss answer no one answer. Mumenti.
Yes, and we'll overrun just a little bit also. So somebody who you do know, Excellency, Patrick Smith is from Africa Confidential, Africa Report, is asking, what more do you think the G20, IMF and World Bank could do to expedite debt relief and fresh investment in Africa? So not just Ghana. And then Roland Taylor has also been saying, well, if you'd not lost that election and had been president, what would you have done differently related to the economy? So let's take the...
Swati. I say one lusu abana 2020 and a war president John Mahama. CCA antika war no ankadien na obeye. Munti question you. First one the busa na say the alternative solution, the solution ni de wahi. Third one also, second one was similar. Third one the can pay or say one lusu election and our president Mahama antika war no kadien na obeye.
Those three, and then the next round we'll focus on this room for questions. Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alex, I think I'll just stand here.
Yeah.
So,
yesterday,
thank you very much. Nick, good to see you again. And thanks.
Answer, and I feel good to see you near you be again. Answer the question. Dear now obey, Mumenti the Obeka. But shock him up.
For your question, we worked quite closely together during your period in Ghana.
Answer question and a period in Ghana and Yan Ubi answer the question.
Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF program.
I say I am not opposed to debt restructuring. And to see I didn't know just share my own. The be a mocase a leaders name. I am more before an cassa musumayon. I am monsus musumai. Uncle can ye ya or can ye nako see Ghana ya Namudi Mume Eshiano. Say now will be a year ye see kai ye fast ye postpone no. Would now say ka work at same thing now be. Because all Ghana for Musano, Ghana journalists for ye Musa. And once I took question man, I buy say ye debt restriction. Now opposition now. Obi opa bemuaba. Opposition. Ukobusa and say aban you we obeka say ane. Memana ye there be. Tofe kra na ode she Ghana for no mukra obeka say there be enye. The best question you ask an opposition leader is what are your alternatives? What are your alternatives? So what I say, what are your alternatives? Bakontompo, Nambraba, and Ada, and a Ghana for moto, and they be no one ever told Mamosa. Do obey the yams obey Ghana ye no. Now more sense some ye too, Sana Modia President Kufuor. That's the same thing you did to President Kufuor. Moment your Becca. Muntie John Mahama. Muntie no. Muntie.
Alex, I think I'll just stand here.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. Nick, good to see you again. And thanks for your question. We worked quite closely together during your period in Ghana. And Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to get in an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring to be able to go into a program.
Atiefo, somebody. Or say, oh, debt restructuring, no, a prerequisite. Prerequisite, just a idea, say, oh, yeah, answer the when you BB. And now, oh, yeah, answer the BBSC. So what I say? I say, you primary school, na yes, I say, we jari answer no work school. So what I say? And I say, we did answer no work school. Requisite, prerequisite, a idea, a share, say, oh, yeah, answer na BBSC. So what I say? It's Mahama catch the Ghana for say that debt restructuring na e ade ye ansa na IMF for na den omo sika na den ama ene de ahye ye Ghana economy ni mu no. Enti Ghana for it's a wunimu sei a wo ye aban a obi a opa ban mu aba ana wasore gina aban ko so insert Ghana for say momo nye enti omo nya ne ye lusu IMF sika no na economy ni mu den na magire no so ato abama no ba ono ankasa wo gina ho de nyansa efi ni nyansa na adwene mu do a ye de solution to solve economic problem de oni bi one say do see Yebusa John Mahama about his alternative no John Mahama was not able to provide anything but all hangi wo your friend say the MPP for na wa criticizing no but say ono be ma solution say oh anka ya me John Mahama dia oh kame B me nye debt restructuring me B unsa wa answer question oni bi John Mahama ni bi John Mahama only message John Mahama only be NDC they don't have anything the only thing I say they will hop onto what the government is doing and criticize it but when you ask them a critical question about a DNA obeya John Mahama ni bi John Mahama enibi eti debt restructuring na koso no John Mahama supporto John Mahama o supporto but all pa ba mu aba no obeka se enye mi wa ono ani muton ana ogina paso kan enye mi na meka John Mahama ni gina paso ka se ono can and the same thing obeye.
I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to get in an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring.
So what, Marty, Ghana needs to do it. And when say Ghana has had no, niya koji says Ghana Ghana economy ni more. Why are you and your people against it back home in Ghana? Sure. The MI bedu and say e-levy was something like a preventing you from going to the IMF. Because e-levy and na investors in say economy ni ayedin ma yusu musika nyina ekwan be so na Ghana ban aban investors they look at aban o enye individual because Ghana sika wo individual wo sika pa individual wo sika e ban ni eni sika because ye ntime ye taxes ye o ba America krom ha oko UK e ban ni wo sika anytime aban bia eni sika no because Aban is the biggest spender in every nation. Etu John Mahama, unim say Ghana for ehia dewe, ana wonu Aban, ono wonkrofo, mubotuguno. You did the same thing to e-levy because e-levy passe ya, ana mwanya doa safo, Jezebel, oba kairi boom boom, and free parliament, anke passe e-levy no, ana e-levy na so si decline, anka we could have gone back to the world market and go for loan. Either bond or something, because that year Kenoforiata didn't go because on pesa Ghana ye kabedosun. It was ye obeji jisika wa ye memu ane da boy home bread ko IMF ye e-levy beba nya jisika na. That was what investors were looking at for. Investors who say o mine and abani timi jisika they are confident say omusika omodi aban abani betua. So investors who say abani nyesika emma abani futuoma then they hesitate. Either they will take their money and leave the country. So NDC Elevi ho bo elevi ho ma elevi basa eno ana yentimi anko the world market anko pe bond dollars amesoketi Ghana economy ana omani jiguye ana yako IMF no mam I say yensanya die ABCD no mo fa sika na maya NDC for ne John Mahama ahuri agina passe enye ene ogina ha kana nimu asem ne Ghana for moma yesu enyansa ho de bia mo se politicians and the yusumo omakanwe de obenka no kra kire mo no ya muntie John Mahama ene ogina paso ka kire mo se John Mahama gina paso ka kire Ghana for say ono de debt restructuring no obeye enye me na make kan John Mahama o say that debt restructuring no ono a obeye onya against moma yentie de so oya de entia also oya against odamumenti
dialogue and consultation. Thanks for your question. We worked quite closely together during your period in Ghana. And Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring to be able to go into a program. What has been the contention is a lack of dialogue and consultation with the debt holder.
Oh God. John Mahama often say ye Ghana for ye ni adwin da yitremu. Be say ode online but dialogue consultation and no one John Mahama solution to everything on this planet. John Mahama fin say consultation any and John Mahama solution. It's almost the dreaming answer pie the boy my only view. Everything is hinged on consultation. T. Me say over the previous video about John Mahama, it's all about consultation.
Your period in Ghana. And Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring.
Just they are buying or oppose you.
Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF.
Or say a idea na IMF edisi kind of na Ghana economy na stable. Inti adentina John Mahama unimusa na Ghana for wo chire wo mra ban de ese wo ya aka wo so aka the same thing na adentina wo oppose mumyenti
Program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring.
Or say Ghana enhyese ye ade ye hia ese ye
to be able to go into a program. What has been the contention is a lack of dialogue and consultation with the debt holders on the domestic side. I know currently negotiations are taking place with the bondholders on the external side. Not the same treatment with domestic bondholders. Government feels it can just ride roughshod.
Oh. Man, we offended John Mahama na all power by Mwabano. You busa a simple question. You see into your what and Kadien na obey debt restructuring. Because John Mahama only any alternative in solving Ghana the economic crisis whether COVID or no COVID only because man waba muda and yebusa will say at the end now be differently. You are going back to the abine and I say oh abino mean against the debt restructuring and canwana meye. That has been his style. Ubusa said then abaya or say media card abane and anka against you name manka me say eba free such ubusa say free such as a ya na nya or say free such ye na say review ben abaya John Mahama ntimi nkasa ontimi nkasa on carry now I say and say ke consultation and I say we say everything about Ghanaian economic solution bia when you ask John Mahama it's all about consultation. Why are you a fetish priest for us to come and consult you to talk to It's all about consultation. Everything about John Mahama is consultation. And so, party man and saying, hey, Muyi minority leader, every parliament MP, as the agent said, man consult to him. This is John Mahama talking. This is the guy, the Abambe Bianye, and so Busada say, a dear now been differently as a consultation. John Mahama can never say the Abane any new name consultation. We are now we're jumping to corruption and I'm discuss and this is the guy who Baumia and Busada said, what will you do different? Baumia will itemize what they have on their list for you to even criticize it. John Mahama only be beer or the beba because you're one a hollow. So John Mahama fear criticisms more than anybody. That is why John Mahama cannot put whatever he's going to do in front of Ghanaian public for us to criticize it. John Mahama hates criticisms. John Mahama is empty. John Mahama has nothing for this country called Ghana. All he needs is to become president and do whatever he wants to do and leave power. This is the critical moment in every nation's life. This is the critical moment for government and opposition, for you to come out and tell us, say, I will do A, B, C, D. I will do A, B, C, D in solving your problem. When Nanado and Baumia, they were in opposition, they told us that they would do free education. When it came up, said, what are you going to do, Nanado and Baumia, in solving the high unemployment rate in Ghana? They said, I will do A, B, C, D. One of the things that they propose is, we need to industrialize our country. Okay. And secondly, we need to also educate the people. Whilst we are educating the people, we are creating more jobs awaiting them. And the Omu school now, at that time, the one district, one factory, now I full-fledged. Not companies na any route. Now I employ, I absorb graduate, I absorb omu into that sector. It's here for free SHS, free SHS Emra. And I'm the free SHS buy. We need to educate the people for them to be employable. Secondly, when they are employable, it means there must be a job for them to do. And I'm say one district, one factory. These are the two solutions in solving what the Ghanaian high unemployment rate in Ghana. That these were the proposition of the then opposition leaders. When they asked John Mahama what you are going to do, the opposition and the abane Obeka to say what would you do differently?
Over them. So one fine Sunday night, we're all relaxed at home, and then we had the finance minister, address the debt restructuring and
Obi the president now. It might when I'm also a communication expert also then. One Sunday morning, fine Sunday morning. How can it be a Sunday morning when the economy is in turmoil? Oh, the fine Sunday morning, man. One Sunday morning, we were sitting down and we hear the finance minister saying, blah, blah. Massa. Oh, go Ghana anymore, I say. Oh, go Ghana anymore. Yabusa, straightforward question. What would you have done differently? Oh, me, I come in your debt restructuring. Ebia, me, I will look at how to mobilize, internally generate funds in Ghana by widening the tax net. How are you going to widen the tax net? By digitalizing the economy. So every economic transaction, the government will be in the know, the IRS will go and get money. That will bring money into the government chest. And after that, we'll be able to pay workers and pay our debt and all those things. What do you mean, Kabi? John Mahama and Timin can we be you? John Mahama on Timin can we be? Name Obeka what Busan say, a dear now benny differently. Now what say, made the Abane and made the same thing. Name Kameni saying this. I mean. Ghana for you. Just listen.
I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring to be able to go into a program. What has been the contention is a lack of that. dialogue and
Yeah, Ghana for Mofa Mohadjumati. Akufo-Addo ka kyerɛ mo sɛ ɔman ne mu bɛyɛ den. Ɔma mo nsuo free ɔka kyerɛ mo. Moda light mu free ɔka kyerɛ mo. Deɛ na ɔyɛ biara ɔde mo to hotel, amanfo ambulance ɛfa mo kɔ hospital ɛsolve mo COVID issue. Yɛde nurses fo gu abɔnten, sojafoɔ gu abɔnten. Ne nyinaa yɛ ka a ɛba Ghana fo so a ɛsɛ yɛtua. Port ɔhɔ na yɛdi sika paa free. Ɛyɛ airport, Tema Port, Takoradi Port. Ɔhɔ na Ghana yɛnyi sika free paa. COVID time no, saa hɔ nyinaa yɛ dead. Ɔmo a mo yɛ adwuma hɔ nyinaa hu. Because container deɛ nhyepe bi ma ana aban nya ne sika. Nti aban nya sika. Nti sika a World Bank ne other banks de mai ɛno ana Ghana yɛdi ya ekosi sɛ COVID na no brase. Monya ahyɛmu ɛwɔ this current government mu. Na mudi NDC anu akyi a NDC anu akyi a mubedi mu dokonkwa. It happened at the time President Kufuor ɛwɔ aban mu. Omo yedede sa omo bae economy na eden anye ye. Na so President Kufuor de yesi a better footing in terms of our economy. NDC for bae mo free so no. Masa na economy na agija. Dum so kwa ni yenye sika emfanto petrol empower your plant. Rather, John Mahama and the NDC Chronics make a whole bunch of money. As I'm talking to you, they are making billions of money out of Dumso. Dumso ni see na omo agreement baby they still make money out of it. They still make money out of it. Fucking contract omo sign, they are making money out of it. And then omo di omo political party and into no menyano ejina okasa no. Ghana for me say mo nwene mo ho. Mo hwe obi obema mo hye yepa. And then Obi said John Mahama. Simple question about what would you have done differently? Look at what John Mahama is saying.
in the contention is a lack of dialogue and
if the thing is about the lack of dialogue, why don't you say, oh, Ghana for Adena buy and a year, make more kasa. Niye say what you count Ghana for Bekasa. But you jump on air, you are parachikisi and whatever, jump on air, and they say blah 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 and yeah. Meanwhile, you know the thing is good.
Consultation with the debt holders on the domestic side. I know currently negotiations are taking place with the bondholders on the external side. Not the same treatment with domestic bondholders. Government feels it can just ride roughshod over them. So one fine Sunday night, we're all relaxed at home.
Yeah, Ghana from the embassy and a video na online. Obi ankohwe na muntie nsema John Mahama kan. John Mahama has no solution. He has no alternative for the Ghanaian people. Until Ghana for more far more. Why?